Hello everybody and welcome to WTF at the TDF. I like that. With me, Chris Pritchard, stage 11, 2 times up Mont Ventoux. We were expecting fireworks, we were expecting the whole thing to kick off. Did it kick off? Pretty much what it was like. It didn't really get going. Anyway, let's get in to the top WTF moments from stage 11. First up, if you've ever wondered what Mikhail Kwiatkowski's wife sees as he's finishing himself off, look no further. Full on vinegar stroke face going on there. But hey, can you blame him? That looked bloody brutal and he pulled bloody hard. Hey, next up, did you know that they'd allowed France onto the green list back here in the UK? English people can now travel as tourists to France. Well, at least that's the impression I get from this picture. Go on, Brad, keep it as classy as ever. I mean, that coat probably cost more than my house, but you know, whatever. The only thing missing from that picture was a bloody can of Stella. Anyway, talking about Englishmen, and this is not a WTF moment, this is more of an appreciation moment for Mark Cavendish as he passed over Tommy Simpson's memorial, where Tom Simpson unfortunately lost his life back in 1967 on Mont Ventoux. Cav had the decency and the respect to doff his cap to mark the moment and to say hello to Tommy Simpson. You know what they say? Form is temporary. Class is forever. One thing that's not forever is Luke Rowe's Tour de France. That came to an end yesterday.
Well, that's the Tour de France over for me.
As did 7 other riders. 7 riders abandoned. I think most of them prior to the first descent up Mont Ventoux. They shit themselves. They saw it and they went, I'm all right, I'm good. Tiesj Benoot was in there. Tony Martin was in there because he'd crashed again. WTF moment for Tony Martin. I mean, how many crashes is this man going to have before he goes, you know what? I'm off. I mean, he messed himself up pretty bad. No one saw what happened on the TV cameras, but when they cut to him, he was in a ditch. Gravel rash on his leg. I think he'd cut his face open as well. Looked a little bit concussed. WTF. Jumbo-Visma have had the worst Tour de France probably on record. That being said, we'll talk about the shining light from Jumbo-Visma, or the 2 shining lights from Jumbo-Visma. WTF actually. To say how bad the tour's been for them, they've had some bloody standout moments, and a lot of them happened yesterday. WTF, Wout van Aert. What can't this man do? Prior to taking victory yesterday, he was trying to beat Mark Cavendish in a sprint. He almost beat Mark Cavendish in a sprint. Mark Cavendish ended up almost 40 minutes. Could have been over 40 minutes. I didn't check afterwards. He ended up 40 minutes behind Wout van Aert on today's stage. What does that say about Wout van Aert? Un-bloody believable. What a class act. And if you look at his pro cycling stats from this year, the season this kid's had is absolutely un-bloody believable. I mean, WTF. Look at his Tour de France, for instance. Never been outside the top 100. A glut of top 10 positions. He took stage victory yesterday. He was second on a flat sprint stage the day before. He was 4th in the time trial. WTF. On top of that, you look back through his results. National champion, Amstel Gold, 2nd at Brabantse Pijl, 6th at Tour de Flanders, 1st at Gent-Wevelgem, E3 11th, Milan-San Remo 3rd, Tirreno Adriatico, took the points classification, took the individual time trial on stage 7, won the first stage, bookended it, 4th in Strade Bianche. This is a cyclocross rider who's good for an hour. Un-bloody believable. WTF. And sticking with Jumbo-Visma, Jonas Vingegaard. I don't know how you pronounce his name and I don't really care. What an absolute beast he was. The only man willing to flop his knob out and say, come on, Pog, look at this. He attacked. Pogacar responded. Pogacar was seated when he responded. WTF. I mean, WTF. He did get out a little bit, but essentially it was a seated acceleration to pull Vingegaard back. But Vingegaard managed to finally break him. WTF moment for Tadej Pogacar. Did he crack? Or was he like, do you know what? I've got enough time here. I don't need to do this. I was just showing you I can. Go on, kid. I'll catch you on the descent. I mean, it was all for nothing in the end. It was all for absolutely nothing. Next up, Ineos Grenadiers tactics. WTF. What was going on? What was going on? Now I can see some reason for doing what they did. They were trying to shell out a few of those GC contenders around them. But we seem to be riding at the minute very defensively at the Tour de France. It's almost like first place doesn't exist anymore. Like nobody wants it. Like no one's willing to die on their sword. Everyone's kind of sitting there going, I'd rather take a podium or a top 5 rather than go and do something extreme and just have a go at Pogacar. Like the respect I got for Vingegaard, the respect I've got for them all, but the fact that he tried, made me respect him. Richard Carapaz had his team on the front for hours on end, and when it came to it, he couldn't do anything. So essentially his teammates nullified his ability to attack. But it did shell some out the back, so... But the ones around him on GC, apart from Ben O'Connor, who got absolutely destroyed, the rest of them were there or thereabouts with him, so it was it was for nothing. How many matches have Ineos Grenadiers burned on this stage that are going to affect them later down the line? I don't know. WTF though. Oh, one match going back to it, Luke Rowe. That was a big match to burn. The fact that he didn't make it in the time limit, OTL.
Well, that's the Tour de France over for me.
And then finally, WTF for Julian Alaphilippe. It was hard to watch. We look at this man, and Bradley Wiggins' money was on Alaphilippe to take the victory. I had a sneaky suspicion that he was going to be there, at least be there towards the end. But WTF, oh, it was so hard to see him crack. He cracked big time. Such a shame. But again, you've got to hand it to him. He was in the break. He was going for those com points. He was trying his heart out. Now, I feel a bit disrespectful saying that none of the others are trying. Because they all are. From first to last place, they're all trying. But there's others that are willing to risk it all. To risk everything in the name of glory. Whereas some of them, they're quite happy and content. That doesn't jive well with me. I want to see riders fall from grace. I don't want to see them fall from grace. That's wrong. I want to see them attempt the unattainable, the unattemptable, just for the sheer hell of it. I know I'm down 5 minutes on Pog, but I'm going to have a go anyway, because that's what racing's about. If you ain't first, you're last. Anyway, that is Stage 11 WTF from the TDF, and we'll be back again with another one of these, as long as it gets more than 5,000 views. Get this over 5,000 views, get this over 200 likes, and we'll do another one next week. Until next time.